Hi, thanks for joining me again here at www.rundiffusion.com, and I'd like to talk to you today about our sketch to render template. And this is specifically designed for architecture, but you can certainly use it for other things as well. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So first, you want to start off by going to rundiffusion.com, and you want to either sign up or log in right here in the top right. Once you're here on this site, this is app.rundiffusion.com/runnit/home. It should bring you here automatically. The only exception is if you've recently used one of our open source applications over here, and then it may bring you right to app.rundiffusion.com. In that case, no problem. Just on the top left, go ahead and click on home, and it'll bring you here. If you're completely new to RunDiffusion, you're going to want to check out some of our nice articles too, which I'll reference for you in a moment. Specifically, the Sketch to Render article. You can find that over at rundiffusion.com/architecture-sketch-to-render-template. And this has a lot of details. And so I will give you a basic overview, but if you need additional help and assistance, this article is going to be what you want to reference, okay? Let's get back over to it. All right, let's go ahead and find our template. Now it's really easy to find. You just kind of scroll down just a smidge to where it says boards and it'll say featured. And under our featured boards, we're going to use this arrow here and we're going to scroll over till we find the template that we want to use. And for this one, we're going to use this one, our architecture sketch to render template. Now, there's two ways to find this. One is right here off the home page here, and the other one is by clicking over where it says Run It Boards. If you click over on Run Boards, you see the top here, Featured Templates. And again, you can just scroll right on over to it. Go ahead and find that again. There it is. And we'll click on it one time. If you click on that card, what it's going to do is it'll show you a preview of all the different tools that are in this template. And if you're satisfied, so for example, if you're browsing through the different templates, once you're satisfied that you've found the one that you need or would like to use, and for example, Architecture Sketch to Render, there's multiple versions. I think there's about 3 of them, and they each have a little bit different tools. So make sure you look at all of them, see the one that you like for your needs, and then click Create Board. From here, if you're on a personal account, you can name it whatever you want, but if you're on a team account, you want to be a little bit more mindful because your teammates might also be sharing a board with you. So in that case, go ahead and fill out the information here, give it a custom title. For this one, I'm going to just put video demo so that my teammates know what I'm doing. And you can, down here, you can add a deeper description of what you're working on, a particular project. And you can even upload an image here, use one of our cards here that come with it, or you can access your library and find one that suits your project. Once you found everything you want, once you organize everything as you would like it, go ahead and click on the Create button. And what this will do is it will simply create a Run It board, which you may or may not be used to. This might be your first time, which is basically a workflow that you can share with your team. And so here's where it shows you. So is it private? Is it only for me? Is it restricted for just me and maybe 1 or 2 team members, or is it shared with the entire team? I'm going to keep mine private, so not to bother my whole team. And now let's go over some of the cool things that are on this board, what I've included for you. So the first thing I've included for you is Seedream version 4.5. And the reason I included this one here is this is a text-to-image model. Now this can be used to create different textures, materials, and it can even be used to create the sketches themselves. For example, if you prefer to prompt your sketches, you can certainly do that here. You can also do different styles like pencil, ink, watercolor. That's all possible here with this text-to-image model. Seedream is a very powerful model. It generates in both 2K and 4K resolution, so it'll give you really good details on those textures and materials that you can later use as references in this workflow. So I would mainly recommend Seedream version 4.5 for getting different materials and different items or objects that you want in your scenes that going forward. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit here, and we've got Seedream version 4.5 edit. Now this is the edit model based on this one, obviously. And it's a very strong model. This tool is for image editing, and you can see we already have some images here. And I'm going to click on this to show you what I've done here. And you can see that the reference image was actually a sketch. And so we'll hit compare here, and you can see the pencil sketch underneath here and how it's refined it into this one. Now, the reason why it shows these textures is because I prompted for it, dark basalt and granite materials. So that's what it gave me. And you can look at some of these other references that I have here. Let's go ahead and click on this one. This one I said change the facade to wood and marble and make the fountain also marble. So we got that kind of nice little marble look and the older style wood at the top. And there's other versions here as well, kind of terracotta. And so you can play with, different facades and different massing type of things. And what you can also do is, because this is an edit model, sorry, I need to click on it here so you can see the features. I apologize. I was still clicked on this one. You can see here that you can upload up to 14 images. Now, I don't recommend doing 14 images, but you could. So you could upload your sketch, and maybe you want to also upload some different materials like some wood or different type of textures that you want to incorporate into your final render or this step of the rendering process. And so you can say, here's my sketch, here's my materials, and you can tell it right here in the prompt, please use this material on the door, please use this material on the wall, and that will get you these nice effects. Or you can do like I did and simply skip adding the extra materials and simply prompt for it. Both are viable options. And the beautiful thing about 4.5 Edit is it starts out in 2K, whereas most traditional models start off in 1K. So it starts off at 2K and goes up to 4K. So let's go ahead and look down here a little bit further. I also added Riverflow 2 here. Riverflow 2 is a nice little edit model. It is not, you cannot do multiple reference images. This is simply an edit model. So you can use it to change things. For example, here's an example here. I just had it swap out the fountain for this dolphin. And the reason I included Riverflow 2 on this is because Riverflow is good at little precision edits and it's very affordable. And so as an edit model, a lot of edit models start off around 87 and go up from there. This one's quite affordable, and so I thought it would be nice just for just those tiny little edits. You don't need to do the whole big picture. The drawback of Riverflow, though, is it is a 1K model, okay? But it does have a lot of different resolutions that you can play with, but they are all 1K. So keep that in mind. So if you use this as your last step, you're going to want to upscale it. Now let's go ahead over to Nano Banana Pro. Nano Banana Pro is a very strong and powerful model. It's a bit different from Seedream 4.5 because it understands context a lot better. Now, you might ask, why don't we just use Nano Banana Pro then if it's a better model? Well, there are drawbacks to Nano Banana Pro. Both of them are good models, and you don't always need to pull out the big guns for everything. So I always suggest starting off with Seedream and doing what you can with Seedream first, and then those final edits that are a little more complex that Seedream wasn't able to do, that's when I would use Nano Banana Pro. And I say that just because of this. You can quickly burn through a lot of tokens by doing some simple edits. So if you just need to change little small things, maybe Riverflow. If you need to change some big things, Seedream 4.5. But if you need to change entire concepts like structures and textures across a variety of subjects in your image, I would suggest Nano Banana Pro. And so that's why I've included all of these editing models. I included 3 for you. Honestly, we could probably added also Nano Banana Edit, which is a 1K editing model. It's also a very good model, but I don't think it's necessary for this workflow. But if you enjoy it, there are options here to add additional tools here. And another thing to keep in mind is while I included Seedream 4.5 for the general purpose text to image, you could always add Flux 2 Pro or Flux 2 Klein or maybe even Juggernaut Lightning to get some really quick concepting textures out. Those are all viable options. Now to end this workflow, I included Topaz Upscale. Now there are different upscalers. There's Magnifique as well. I found Topaz Upscale is a very good true upscaler that just gets you from point A to point B. It doesn't try to do anything elaborate, doesn't try to change anything or make things more beautiful. It takes your image as it is and it upscales without adding additional artifacts, which is what an upscaler should do. And I really like that. There are what's called generative upscalers too available on RunDiffusion, such as Magnifique, and there's also a Topaz generative upscaler and Aura and so on. You can pick those if you need a generative upscaler by simply adding another tool. But for just general purpose upscalers, I will recommend Topaz here, and I'll show you an example. And we'll go ahead and compare here. So what this has done here is it's done a factor of 2. So since this image is coming from Seedream, this is already a 4K image, so it's going to bring it up to 8K. I want you to look at the flowers here. You can see they become more crisp and beautiful there. Now, because it's just a general line, you could probably also see some of the texture and they stand out, pop out a little bit more here. But besides those minor texture changes, there's a very tiny changes. It's the same image, and that's what you want for a true upscaler. So you can keep things exactly the same. A lot of AI upscalers will change things dramatically. But if you look at this side by side on like a Krita or in Photoshop, you'll see that, one is, here and the other one is much larger. And that's what you want if you're just trying to blow something up and not try to change anything. So that is a really quick and fast overview of this architectural sketch to render template. I hope that answers a lot of questions. And just keep in mind, there are lots of different templates available on our site. Please check them out. And if you have any questions, feel always free to reach out to me directly. I don't mind. I'm available on our Discord. If you're an enterprise user, you can always email me directly. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.